Hey there everybody, hope your day's going well. Your old school gaming here, and welcome back to another Thoughtful Thursday. Yeah, I took a nap, took a shower, took another nap. Yeah, I might as well just get into this, cause, well, no time like the present. Yeah, this is definitely the saddest arc that Sword Art Online has, but, yeah, might as well get it done and over with. At least the next arc is, or the next, well, it's not really an arc, just a movie, but it's not as depressing. Really at all. Let's just get into it. So, the opening is, Courage by, Haruka Tomatsu. You always have to look at, okay, what's the name? Yeah, but this time there are completely different visuals. It's mainly focusing on Yuki and the Sleeping Knights, where Asuna is kind of welcomed in as an outsider, and Yuki, their center, the rock of the group, and she's definitely their leader that they will follow into, well, any virtual world, this time Sword Art Online. And how the visual of the two toddlers, they just start crawling, roll, and then they're children, girls, and then there's a spin, and then it's just Yuki, which is kind of it's kind of a visual thing that you don't really notice until much later into the arc, when you figure out, wait, how do two become one? Oh. Yeah, it's it's kind of neat at first, but then just heartbreaking once you understand what the visual means. And then, the ending is it's Shirushi by Lisa, and there's not really too much visually. It just kind of focuses on Asuna getting lost in the song, and then thinking about all the different memories that she's built up, both in the game and through their avatars. Well, with Yuki, and not just in the game, but also with the camera she eventually gets on her shoulder. It's again, first it comes off as just, that's kind of neat. Then once you realize where everything's gone, and most likely the Asuna that's listening to the song is after everything that happened, it's just, oh, damn it. Yes, well, speaking of Yuki, she gets voiced by Erica Mendez. Absolutely fantastic job at breaking everyone's heart. Damn. Yeah, not too many episodes this time around, because there's, the Forest House, which is, well, okay, the Forest House, technically, the opening includes visuals for, the previous arc, but still technically part of the new arc. And it's kind of a preview for for what's about to happen, because first, Aincrad, the new Aincrad in Alfheim Online, is only getting 10 floors per update, and it's about to go floors 21 to 30. And since the cabin house that Asuna and Kirito spent their honeymoon at is on floor 21, they're just, okay, well, we need to, help defeat this boss and get straight to that cabin and buy it before anyone else can. And at least now, it becomes more than just, their married home. It's kind of a gathering spot for everyone, so they can all meet up and talk and get their homework done. And one of the conversations is regarding some new player who has gained the nickname Zekken. I'm not sure how that nickname came to be, but it's just a nickname, which actually helps Asuna paint Zekken as some super big tough guy. but regardless, the rumors of Zekken just first what a loser, what an idiot. They think they can just come in here and toss us around. turns out Zekken can. Someone so powerful, no one can defeat them. And the prize afterwards being like an 11-hit original sword skill, which is very tempting in the game. And then, well, meeting Zekken. Well, two big points though, but the episode itself is Zekken. Well, we do get to meet Asuna's mother, who has, like, some sort of complex about making sure Asuna not only goes to college, but marries up. And just outright rejecting Kirito just because he was, he's not born into, like, a silver spoon in his mouth. And hell, even going so far as to try and set up some kind of arranged marriage, and Asuna's just like, what, do you really hate Grandma and Grandpa for being born poor? And she, after that argument, she ends up crying herself to sleep, because it's just like, why does my mother reject everything I want, everything I am? And she even has, like, the mental note that, well, Lightning Flash is gone forever, and there's no getting her back. Honestly, the way I see it, college is a massive goddamn scam. It is actually illegal to pay people, like, at the same position who started at the same time, different rates. Especially since most college degrees are not even useful to whatever job people end up getting. And then everyone's left with this massive pile of debt. Now there are, of course, some careers where, like, oh hey, you can, jump into this and you'll pay off your debt within a few years, and you'll have plenty of money left over. Yeah, that's nice, but not everyone wants one of those super high-paying careers. And help me hell, if we had a society of nothing but doctors and lawyers, what about everything else? Is everything else really going to be AI? Well, at the rate the world is going, probably, but honestly, most college degrees are just, a paper you can frame and have a bunch of memories about. Not really going to help in any real way. So, like, honestly, if you want to just, like, make money, earn money, and, make sure you have enough to eat and enough to drink, then just go find a job. There are plenty of well-paying jobs that's just, hey, if you have a college degree, you're at least 18. Well, some careers do require, like, an age limit. And, like, yeah, maybe it's like okay, you're 15, you can only do so much. Then you're 18, you can do a little more. Once you hit 21, it's like there are certain age restrictions, just because certain jobs that pay decently well, certain jobs just go, well, this is kind of dangerous, so we want full adults here, not teenagers. But I'm... with this week, I'm just going off into some random rant. Well, whatever. Back to Sword Art Online. Well, yeah, the duel between Yuki and Asuna actually becomes kind of hilarious in a way. Yeah, visually, it's just, quite the fight, because they really start going back and forth, and the funniest part was definitely when Asuna's vision of what Zekken was, and then we get Yuki. Yeah, and she even accuses Kirito of just going easy on a girl, and yeah, but it does turn out that Yuki was actually just holding the duels to find someone to help her end the Sleeping Knights. Yeah, because, the next episode named the Sleeping Knights, well, they did send out Yuki, their strongest party member, to find someone who could help them defeat a boss, because they had tried on the previous 2 floors, and, looks like it didn't take a note on which floor of New Aincrad they're on, but whatever, that doesn't matter at this point. But, in the town of the beginnings, there's what in the original arc was a monument showing everybody's name and then getting crossed off as they, well, left the game permanently. Now it holds a like a certain set of names. Right, normally for a boss fight, there's like 7 different teams, 7 players each, but only the like the team leaders for each team. Once the boss is defeated, only the team leaders will have their names inscribed on that monument. But they want to they want to just like have only their 7 names. Well, the 6 Sleeping Knights plus now Asuna. They want their names inscribed because, well, they have a limited time because they're going to be busy after a short while. So, and they're on a time limit. Hell, Asuna does agree to help them, which is nice. I really like this arc and like how Asuna's character gets expanded on rather than just focusing on Kirito. Yeah, and of course, like outside the game, there's like an ever-growing animosity between Asuna and her mother. but she still goes to help the Sleeping Knights. Thing is, they try to fight the boss, they get immediately defeated. And Asuna's the one who realized there was like a familiar that snuck into the boss room with them, and was spying on them as they were fighting the boss, which means that the previous 2 times that the Sleeping Knights tried to defeat the boss, but then lost, and then almost immediately after the boss was defeated, not a coincidence. They were being spied on. So they have to quickly regather like healing potions and other supplies and rush to the door, only to find that a guild is blocking the way. Yeah, the same guild that was spying on them. I suppose it's an aspect of a game. I mean, personally, I wouldn't do something like that. It's just like, it'd be... although I suppose I could like understand like wanting to know more about the boss and like sending in a familiar you can spy through. But, I mean, the fact that because the Sleeping Knights show back up at the door. They want to try at the boss, and the guild is not ready to try the boss. So they just say, hey, we're going to try the boss again, can you please let us through? Nope. What the hell? I would honestly just say, wait, just the 7 of you to take on a floor boss? You know how hard that is? Oh, okay, go. Bye. I won't be seeing you later, but bye. Probably, but... yeah, it's just something. Yeah, and then it's both Asuna and Yuki start a fight with them, and they and more guild members start coming down the hall. But wouldn't you know it, through the power of main character, there's Kirito, and he's dual wielding both that one dragon crystal sword and Excalibur. Yeah, so he starts stopping the other guild members from joining the party already at the boss door, and then Klein shows up in the back. Yeah, it's actually, I mean, we don't get to see Klein, but we can definitely hear that voice, and yeah, in either sub or dub, it's actually quite a unique voice, so it's just, yep, that's definitely Klein over there. And then, Asuna and the Sleeping Knights can like sneak past, or rather not sneak past, more bulldoze their way past the other guild members trying to block the boss door, get inside. Yeah, and of course, as they're fighting, the boss has like a weak point right on its chest, and Asuna realizes that whenever it does this, it's not a defensive move to stop damage. I mean, it works that way, but it's a way to protect the weak point. I love how Yuki just like jumps off of somebody's shoulder, and then uses her multi-hit combo to just tear the thing in half from the weak point. Yeah, the guild comes in and they just, what the hell? Everyone's just, victory. And hell, they even get to go back to the forest cabin and have a little celebration. Asuna wants to join the Sleeping Knights, but like everyone says that no, it's impossible. You can't, because within a couple months we're all going to be super busy, and that's all they say. That's really all they can say. I mean, yeah, it's of course it's more just like, they are the Sleeping Knights because they're essentially sleeping while playing. Yeah, but they do get to finally get to go down to the town of beginnings where everyone's name is finally engraved on a floor 24. That was it. Yeah, because that's like part of the visual in the during the Courage opening, just a floor 24, and it looks blank, but well, at least now everyone's name gets to be there. And damn, the misunderstandings when you say something out loud that you didn't intend to. Because Yugi just says, "We finally did it, sis," and also says, "Oh, thanks for calling me sis." But no, that wasn't the intention, and Yugi just immediately logs out. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, that was the Monument of the Swordsman. Yeah, then the end of the journey, because, oh, wow. Yeah, Asuna just, like, completely blames herself for what happened to Yugi. I mean, Yuki, even, like, one of the other Sleeping Knights, Suiyun, says, it's best to just forget about it, but, yeah, Asuna's not one to like, give up. Yeah, and Kirito is actually, like, well, possible his own research, possible his connection to Kikuoka, looks up a hospital where an experimental medicuboid is being used, and probably that's where Yuki is. Asuna gets to meet Yuki's doctor and just like, wow, you actually found us. And well, unfortunately, Yuki is in a full dive state at all times. Because I mean, like with both the nerve gear and the atmosphere, it's like blocking the brain from being able to like move the actual body. And the Medicuboid goes a little beyond that, like more towards the nerve gear end, but without the lethal microwaving of the brain stem. It's more using electromagnetics to block the pain, because, well, it was Yuki's mother who needed a blood transfusion just before the girls were born. But unfortunately, even with screening, well, unfortunately, sometimes things, don't work out for the best. Yeah, and Yuki's mother ended up contracting AIDS, which, of course, like, through the bloodstream of the two umbilical cords, would have infected both the twins. And, yeah, that definitely is, like, just the absolute worst luck. It's like, you're born, oh, sorry, your blood is infected. What? And hell, that's even when Asuna realizes what the Sleeping Knights are. They're literally asleep in a constant, just like in a constant virtual state. Yeah, and then, at least the whole, like, Asuna finding Yuki inspires Yuki to, like, finally just, like, open up and talk about things, and Asuna's just, hey, is there anything you would want? And Yuki, well, wants to go back to school for a bit. And she's just, well, I mean, it's not possible. Asuna just, maybe it is. Because Kirito was just testing out the, like, a webcam interface, like, to try try to like integrate Yui into the world more, but hell, it can be used for, so that Yuki can like essentially just like ride on Asuna's shoulder the whole day. And Yuki shows her around the school. She gets to like read out part of the book, and hell, can even Asuna takes her around to the to Yuki's old family home, which is apparently about to be torn down to put a convenience store in. I guess. Yeah, because well, okay. The way this arc goes, it's just kind of one episode perfectly flows into the next. Already at the dream begins, and it's more than just like Yuki's being like shown around by Asuna. It's more than just Asuna being an inspiration. Yuki is also an inspiration to Asuna. Because Yuki just says exactly what she wants to say whenever, and in parts because she knows just how limited her time is. Poor Yuki. And Asuna gets inspired to just like take her mother into the game, not just into the game, but also into the cabin, and explains that, hey, Grandma and Grandpa were always so proud of you, and they always said that they made sure to keep their house for as long as possible, just in case you ever wanted to return home. And look at this place. This is like the cabin. They were always so proud of you. And I also think that Asuna wanted to do that more than just like to like have like a heart-to-heart with her, but also because the atmosphere controls, or, well, doesn't control, but the atmosphere connects directly to the brain, so there's absolutely no hiding emotions within the virtual world. And while Asuna's mother may be, like, stern and strong and just completely emotionless in the real world, at least in the virtual world, hey, your emotions are going to shine through. And at least that little talk and heart-to-heart, yeah, Mother Dearest finally just says, you know what, fine. Because it was she finally accepted that, Asuna can attend the same school, but she still wants her daughter to attend college and, move up in the world. Yeah, I kind of wonder, there is no on-camera showing, even in the later arcs the later arcs that have been animated, I should say. But, yeah, I kind of wonder, if Kirito talks to Asuna's mother and just says, hey, I'm looking to get into, the virtual development and whatever the hell. I don't know, I'm sure there's at least a few titles he can spit off, just hey, I want to get into the technological field and advanced technology. I'm pretty sure that the mother would just be okay, what are you going to do that? And then they go into a conversation. Maybe Mom would be accepting of Kirito at that point. Because, there are plenty of ways you can, go out into the world and earn more money, even if you're, born into poverty and have to skip meals every now and again. It sucks having to skip meals, but, well, if you don't have any money, you don't have any money. Trust me. I've had to skip meals before. Yeah, anyway. Let me not get into another rambling. Move on to the final episode, Mother's Rosario. Guys, oh dear, it's the definitely the most heartbreaking episode. Because it starts with the a party outside the forest house, and everyone's just having fun, just giving their avatars virtual food, and I forget who. Someone looked around and just went, wow, we have a pretty amazing team. We could probably take on a floor boss. Everyone pauses and just, let's do it. That is hilarious. That everyone's just, yeah, let's go. Hell, even Yuki and Kirito get to have a rematch, and Kirito could have won if he was just like 2 seconds faster. Because like he's bringing his sword down right on top of Yuki's head, and then time limit. Oh, can't win. Yeah, but unfortunately the good times don't last because, well, Yuki's doctor sends Asuna a message that things just suddenly got worse. Yuki's heart stopped, so at least they were able to revive her, but only as a temporary measure. They run into the game, and hell, Yuki does have just enough energy to like pass on Mother's Rosario, the sword skill, the 11-hit sword skill. And hell, Asuna even promises that one day in the future she will pass it on to someone else, and then they'll pass it on, and well, the Mother's Rosario will live on forever. Then all the different fairy races of Alfheim, just like so many wings in the sky and so many colors, just come in and essentially give a send-off, because, I mean, how it's like each of the sleeping knights come by just to, say their final goodbye, because everyone knows, well, Yuki's gone now. Even back in the real world, there's a funeral procession for Yuki that just goes all the way out and around the block, is like everyone's like lining up to just like, so that way like the whole funeral area itself isn't overcrowded. They just come in, say a little prayer, pay their respects, and then move on. But there is some good news, because Suiyun, at least in the real world, was suffering from leukemia, which, if you don't know, is like bone cancer. Essentially, the bones start destroying themselves. But she was in full remission at that point and had fully recovered, and yeah. Yeah, and she kind of has like kind of a similar sentiment to Yuki, because Yuki was just like, hey, why was I born if my only purpose was to just not even live a full life? And then, well, Suiyun has kind of a, I guess it's survivor's guilt. Like, she's just, hey, why do I get to survive? Well, someone as strong and proud and beautiful as Yuki can't make it. And Asuna reassured them both in the same way, just like, oh, hey, one day in some other world we will meet again, and be able to not just for a reconnect, but to be able to like tell the tales of everything that happened, everything they missed, and how even, well, Yuki's doctor shows up to help foreshadow the next television arc after the movie, that the Medicaboid was actually a donation from Kaiba's nurse, who looked after him as he was diving. Well, I mean, even if what Akihiko Kaiba did was like really messed up, at least he understood that there could be some good from the technology of the nerve gear, which, yeah, the Medicaboid, someone in so much pain that they can't stand it, the Medicaboid blocks the pain receptors from being noticed by the brain, so it's just like, just live your life in a virtual world while we try to figure out and do research, and hopefully you get better. Now, I personally just absolutely loved this arc. I mean, yeah, sure, it leaves anyone who actually, has a soul just a complete blubbering mess. I mean, yeah, sure, 7 episodes, but, I mean, the connections with Yuki, I mean, in just 7 episodes, Yuki has such a character arc, and Asuna definitely develops a bit further. And then the huge send-off from every single Alfheim Online player, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, and then the signature move, Mother's Rosario, does get to be used in the future, at least, so well, Asuna can use it so that way, in a way, like, Yuki never really leaves her side. Yeah, and at least next time with the movie, it should be a bit quicker to to go over. I'm liking how I'm doing just, like, summary episode by episode rather than the full freaking play-by-play recap. That was something else. Anyway, I got lots of comments to get to. I have an Attack the Box to open. That will be in the next video, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, hit that bell so you can always be notified whenever I upload another video, and as always, have fun.